I'm so sorry. Truly, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi, which makes no sense because right now I'm in the US and people will swear up and down everything in the US is better, but I can't even get some good Wi-Fi so I could be able to do a live stream. Okay? But I'm doing it on my phone right now, so hopefully it's better than my laptop. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. Like I don't know. But if I thank God I didn't go into the story in depth in the last live because I have to do it all over again. But excuse me. So I just wanted to say I am here in the US. I'm going, as soon as I start to make my videos and stuff like that. Well, I've already made them. I haven't edited them. Once I edit them and stuff like that, I will show you guys, you know, the whole process of me getting back here and stuff like that. But yeah, so I am in the US and I apologize. You know, I'm in my mom's house, so it's a lot going on in the background and stuff like that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys. I got my motivation to come on here and to tell you to get on a live because truly I'm just exhausted. But I wanted to come on here and tell you guys about I finally got my residency in Tanzania, and it was a process. Like it was insane, but I'm gonna tell you guys the story and stuff. So you don't make the same mistakes we made, you know. So as I said in my last live, you know, oh, that lightning was good for me. As I said in my last live, I have never applied for residency for anybody's country. I've always lived in the US. Yes, I have traveled to multiple countries, but I've never lived there, if that makes sense. Like, I've never lived there. I never applied for residency. Nor was I planning on doing that in Tanzania. So, however, you know, I went to Tanzania on a tourism visa with the intent to be a tourist and just, you know, figure Tanzania out and stuff like that. However, a man found me, and I fell in love, and I got married, and etc. So now I'm doing the permanent relocation to Tanzania. I know a lot of people, you know, have this like, and I talk about this in detail in a video that I'm gonna post, but I know a lot of people are lucky enough to be like, I'm gonna relocate to Tanzania, I'm gonna relocate to Ghana, I'm gonna relocate to Nigeria, I'm gonna relocate to South Africa, and they have that feeling of like that spiritual side is calling them, but that's not how it was for me at all. That's just not how it was. I'm gonna leave that to that video that I'm gonna post very soon about, you know, my story and stuff. However, now that we're in the situation that we have decided, okay, I'm gonna live in Tanzania, this is where I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna live permanently. Okay, now let's look at the residencies. Let's look at what exactly we can do so that way I can stay permanently in Tanzania. Now, I was on a tourism visa for... My tourism visa expires, I thought, October 10th, 2021. That's what I thought it expired, but guys, I'm going to get into that story. So, on my passport, I said, okay, my passport expires. Not my passport, guys, sorry. That's how tired I am. My visa expires October 10th, 2021, so I have time. We have time to do the residency. Now, the residency is for married couples. So because I'm married to a Tanzanian, it's a different price versus like if you were to just get residency. So it's about, let's say, roughly around $100 US. So we're like, okay, we know that this is something that we have to do. It's kind of like in the back of our minds, but we're not like, you know, super rushing it. We really didn't take in consideration how long it would take. We really didn't do that. We just knew that we had time. So, and my husband never looked at my passport because, again, I've never applied for residency, and I've only heard stories from like people in the U.S. saying like how much trouble it's been, like the headache and stuff. And my husband has only dated Tanzanian women, so he's never had to go through that foreign process. So this was completely new to both of us. Okay, all right. Now, again, I'm going to tell you guys the mistakes that we made, okay? Because some of the mistakes that we made was completely amateur mistakes, and I just want you guys to avoid making those same mistakes because, you know, we definitely got scammed, like 100%. So, all right, so let me start from the beginning. All right, we know we need permanent residency for me and my daughter. That's a fact. Because we are married in Tanzanian law, my daughter automatically becomes his daughter. Like, that's just how it works. So she's eligible for all the things that a regular Tanzanian kid would be eligible for, moving back to Tanzania and stuff like that, which I was really excited about that. But I was like, okay, great. So now we're in Dar es Salaam, okay? We start off in Dar es Salaam and we go to immigration. And we asked them how we would like to get permanent. We would like to get permanent residency. So they say, okay, you need this. You need a letter from your husband. You need he needs to prove his income. You need like in the same letter it needs to say like why you want to stay in Tanzania. You need like a security bond form. You need an official application form. You need passport photos. You need like 5 passport photos of me, passport photos of my daughter, 5 passport photos of my husband. It's like 5 of them. And then you need a letter from the landlord, that proof of residency. Sorry, y'all. And then you need a letter. Residency, and you need a letter from like the chairperson, like the person who's like wherever you live, like that chairperson, okay, to verify that you live in that area, okay. So it's a lot of paperwork, like y'all, it's a lot of paperwork. So, and because of the visa I was getting, I can't apply for that visa. My husband has to be the one to apply for me, okay. So if you're married to a Tanzanian man, he has to be the one to apply for you, not you, okay? And also, I think even for regular dependent pass and stuff like that as well, the man has to, you know, they got that gender role thing or whatever. Listen, I don't necessarily agree with that, but hey. So I was like, okay, so that means, y'all know, as a woman, we like to get things done. We are quick and ready. But men on the other half, that's a different story. So I was like, all right, we need all of this stuff. We know we need this stuff. We went back to Arusha because at that time, we didn't have a house because remember we were traveling around Africa. So that's one of the requirements that Tanzania needs is proof of residency. You need a letter from the landlord. You need a letter from the neighborhood that you're in. We didn't have that. So we knew at that time we could not apply for residency. Like, we knew that. So we were like, okay, now we know what we need, but at least we got the information. Okay? At least we got the information. So I was like, all right, great. So now we finally, Hope gets the house, got everything going. We start doing all the paperwork. We start to do everything, okay? So we're like, okay, cool. So now we go to Arusha Immigration. When we go to Arusha Immigration, mind you, remember, guys, we got all the information in Dar es Salaam. So we know the whole process. We know the paperwork we need. We know how much it is. We know everything. We know absolutely everything. So when we come into Arusha, we are just like confident. But let me tell you the mistake that we made then, okay? When we went into Arusha, my husband and I were together, okay? The problem was when we went together, my husband had a job to do. Like, he had work, so he had to leave, okay? And he was like, oh, why don't you just stay here and just, like, we had everything. So he was like, you just need to go inside or whatever. Like, just go inside and just handle everything. So I was like, okay, not a problem. Like, it shouldn't, it doesn't seem bad. So he went, and he went to his job or whatever to go do his thing or whatever. That was the number one mistake that we made. Okay, do not, if you are an American with a Tanzanian, that Tanzanian needs to be there straight up. You would think that the process is the same no matter what, but let me tell you something about corruption. It is real. It is real. It is fucking real, okay? It is absolutely real, and you need to be very aware of that. Now, mind you, you know that I know what I'm talking about because I already went to Dar es Salaam. So by the time I went to Arusha, I was confident. I already knew what it was. So I went in there confident. I had all the paperwork. I had everything. The immigration officer looked at me and said, "Where's your husband? Your husband is the one who's supposed to be applying for you." And I was like, "Oh, he just had some work to do, whatever, so he just left." He was like, "Well, basically, like, I'm not taking your application because your husband needs to be here," which, you know, he's right. Technically, he's absolutely right. Then he says, "But sure, I'll take your application or whatever, but you need to pay $300, 300 US dollars." Now, I know for a fact the price of the visa and the process, because I was told in Dar es Salaam, and it's on the government website, like, it's there. So the price is 50 US dollars, and then 100,000 to shillings, which roughly is around about $100. So, and I said that to him. I was like, "No, it's not. The price is not $300. I was like, the price is 50. Exactly what I just told you guys, like $50 and 100,000 shillings. And the problem is like, they really don't like to be challenged. So of course that leads to, altercations and stuff like that I'm just really not trying to get into. So he was like, "Well, then do it in Dar es Salaam." Well, before he said that, he was like, before he said that, he was like, "Oh, yes, that's the price, but then the rest is processing fee." So I said $200 was for processing fee. Since when? Where? So I got upset or whatever. He was like, "So do it in Dar es Salaam or whatever." I got upset, and I called my husband, and I was like, "You need to get back here because," you know what I'm saying? And I felt bad because, like, my husband was in the middle of a job. But I was like, "You need to get back here because this is what this guy is telling me. And I know it's complete nonsense." And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why is he telling you that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Probably because I'm freaking American. And again, everybody thinks that we're rich. I'm not paying $300 for a visa that I know is not $300. So, anyways, what wind up happening is I got so frustrated. And my husband wound up actually coming. We actually wound up going the next day because at that point I just wanted to leave. I just got aggravated. I just wanted to leave. So I came back the next day, okay? And my husband was with me this time, and he's really the one who handled everything. And the guy just pretty much was just like, "Yeah, like, I told her that price. But you know what? You guys just do it online. Just do it online. Like, just do it online." So I was like, at that point, I was really discouraged. Like, I was really, really, really discouraged. But again, I still had time on my tourism visa. So I was just like, okay, I got time on my tourism visa. So, this is not for a rush or whatever. So my husband and I talked, and we were just like, let's just push it back. Like, let's just push it back. We get to Dar es Salaam, we'll just do it like that way and stuff like that. Now, mind you, there are people who are willing to help you with visas, okay? Where we made another mistake. There are people who are willing to help you with visas. So we were like, okay, we clearly need to apply in Dar es Salaam. We don't live in Dar es Salaam. And for us to have to go all the way to Dar es Salaam to wait and have this process is nonsense. So we were like, why don't we just have somebody help us with the process, okay? Why didn't we hire a lawyer? I don't know, y'all. I don't ask me questions. We know we made the mistake. We have learned from it, and I'm here to tell you the story so that way you can learn from it. So don't be coming up in here judging us because we don't know. We don't know, okay? So we were like, these are people who are in immigration, but they're not immigration officers. They're just like maybe like the receptionist or something like that, but they have the connections to go to the immigration offices to get things done faster or things like that. So we were like, okay, let's just use this guy. Like, this guy seems like, you know, cool, not a problem. And we've used him before for other things and it's never been a problem. However, we were like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. So we sent all of the paperwork. Because remember, guys, we had the paperwork. Like, the paperwork has been on point. So we sent all the paperwork. We sent all of that stuff. And we were just waiting. We were just waiting to hear back. We were just waiting, like, okay, we're going to wait for the residency. So we sent the money. And I'm sorry, we didn't send the money. We sent all the paperwork. And he did everything. He gave us a call. And he said, hey, guys, everything is ready for you guys. You just need to come to pay and to get your stamp. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, babe, like, it worked. It worked. Like, we finally got the residency. Like, I'm so happy. Like, yes, I was so excited. So then he was like, you know, why don't you just send your passport, like, basically via, like, the mail. And then when it comes to Dar es Salaam, I'll get that stamp for you and send the money. I was like, and I told Hope, I was like, absolutely not. I am not sending my passport through no mail. Like, it's just not happening. My passport is my life, and we're not. I told Hope, I was like, we're going to have to drive to Dar es Salaam so that way we can get this done. Like, and we were planning on going to Dar es Salaam anyways because I was coming back to New York. But I was like, no. I was like, I'm not putting my passport on the, I'm just not putting my passport in the mail. So we decided to make that call and and went to Dar es Salaam early, okay? As we go to Dar es Salaam, again, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I just have to get my stamp and we're going to pay and everything's going to be good. Like, it's going to be great. Like, yes, yes, yes. So we do that. We get to the immigration office. We give him the passport. We give him the money. Cool. We're waiting. We don't hear back. Every time Hope would call him, he'd be like, yeah, tomorrow's gonna get done. Guys, I'm running out of time. Like, I'm leaving soon. I'm running out of time. Like, I am just, like, I'm starting to stress because I am totally a stressor. I'm starting to stress. I don't have my passport. I don't have my residency. I don't have anything. I literally don't have anything. Oh, thank you so much, PT, for becoming a member. Guys, please become a member. But yeah, I don't have anything. So I'm stressed, y'all. Like, I'm stressed. I'm like, you know, I definitely cried because I'm a crybaby sometimes. And I'm like, you know, I'm just thinking about how am I going to get to New York? I don't even have my passport. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have my passport. This guy has my passport. I don't have access to anything. I was freaking out, okay? And of course, I'm freaking out. I'm stressing my husband out. And he's just trying to, you know, like, he's just trying to figure out what's going on because we were just supposed to come to Dar es Salaam to get the stamp and to pay. Now this guy has my passport. I don't have my passport anymore. And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get back to New York? How am I going to leave the country? I don't have a passport right now. So Hope wound up going to immigration and staying inside of immigration and just kind of waiting. And the guy kept saying, like, it's going to get done. Don't worry. Tomorrow. But tomorrow's just kept running out. And it just kept running out. And I was getting closer and closer to leaving. For real. So I was freaking out, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was completely freaking out, okay? Not only did he have all our paperwork, he had everything. So now we're like 3 days away from me leaving the country, okay? Still nothing. So I'm like crying, and I told Hope, I said, listen, at this point, I just don't care about the residency. I don't care about the residency. What I want is just give me the passport. Take the money, take whatever. Just give me the passport. I need the passport because I need to leave the country. I don't care about anything else, okay? To get that, it's like, Oh, y'all, I'm getting upset even thinking about it. I really am. Like, we just made so many rookie mistakes. Like, we should have never gave this guy the passport. Like, we just should have. We should have never done it. And basically what wind up happening is, then my husband finally gets the passport back. He gets the passport back. When he gets the passport back, we don't have residency. We lost the money. He ain't giving the money back. To this day, he talking about, I'm going to send you guys the money. He ain't sending us the money. That's an L we going to have to take. Okay? I told her, I said, we made a mistake. We're going to have to take the fact that we lost that money. It's only like $100. It's not a big deal. But still, we going to have to take that L because we made that mistake. Then we had then my husband finally looks at my passport. He looks at my passport because the whole time he never looked inside my passport. He looks at my passport and he looks at me. He's like, Diamond, you know that your visa is expired, right? I was like, shut up. You're lying. He's like, no, your visa is expired. He's like, it expires July 10th, 2021. I said, no, it expires October 10th, 2021. Guys, I was reading the visa wrong because here in Tanzania, they read it as the day first, then the month, then the year. I was reading it complete opposite. So I start freaking out. I start crying. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the country illegally. I start freaking out, okay? When I tell you I start freaking out, I'm like, I leave in 3 days. Now, mind you guys, if you are in the country illegally, first of all, you can go to jail. Second of all, when you go to the airport to get your exit stamp, you will be charged like a $600 US fee to $900 US fee. Okay? That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Okay? That is a huge deal. So I'm like, I leave in 3 days and my visa's expired. I totally didn't even realize my visa's expired. What are we gonna do? Like, I was freaking out. I was like, what are we gonna do? So Hope goes back to immigration, and poor Hope, like, I love my husband, like, I was stressing him out, like, he's like, oh my God, like, this woman is just not happy. I'm like, what are we gonna do? So I said to him, he's like, oh, of course Hope is, like, optimistic and stuff. He's like, oh, when you get to the airport, just explain to him. I was like, Hope, they don't care about the explanation. What they see is the expiration date, and they're going to charge me that $900 US fee, and I'm not paying that for an expired visa. And it was just like a couple days. I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, my visa needs to be valid. So I was like, we're going to get an extension. So he's like, all right. He drives back to the immigration office. And they basically, he started like the process of the extension. However, it was too late. Like the thing was already closed. Like everything, they were like, oh, you gotta come back tomorrow. So we were like, all right. Mind you, my husband booked like a nice hotel for us to just spend time together before I went to New York. And every day we spent in immigration. Like, it was horrible. So, anyways, now we come the next day. We get there in the morning. And now he wanted to go back to the same immigration officer. So he's like, all right. So he went back to the same immigration officer that he was already dealing with the day before. And the guy basically had my passport, had the paperwork for the extension, okay? And, yeah, we there, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 1 o'clock, and I'm stressed out because I have to get my COVID test that day, because remember, I'm leaving in 3 days, and if I don't have my COVID test, they're not going to let me fly, and in order to get your COVID test, you have to have your passport. You have to have your passport. Obviously, anybody can get a COVID test, but anybody. You have to have your passport. So, I'm stressed. It's 1 o'clock now. We've been here all day. I still don't have an extension, and I need to make this 4 o'clock deadline to get my COVID test. So I'm freaking out. I'm completely freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, Hope, what's taking them so long? I don't understand. I'm just getting an extension. Like, what's taking them so long? So I got to the point, y'all, where I was like, you know what, Hope, let me step in. And of course, he didn't want me to step in because he's like, like there's a certain way to go about immigration officers, and I think he was afraid that I was gonna bring out my like crazy New York side, which I didn't. So anyway, so I wind up being like, okay, I'm stepping in. So I stepped in the immigration office or whatever, and I saw the guy or whatever, and I just asked politely. I was like, "Hi, can I come like inside?" Like I was like, "Can I come inside?" Because it's like a clear like door, stuff like that. So the other guy, he let me inside and stuff. So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go inside." After I went inside, I spoke to the guy. I was like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to rush you, but I have to get a COVID test at 4 o'clock today, and I need my passport. I was just wondering, and again, it's been there since like 8 o'clock in the morning." And he was just like, "Hold on." So I was like, "Okay." So I had to wait for 2 other people to go in front of me, and then he finally like handled my stuff, and I explained to him like how I got to go. So he was just like, "Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go print out your plane ticket so that way I can expedite this." So I said, "Okay." So Hope and I, we went outside. We went to the stationery to go print out the plane ticket. Came back and we were like, "Okay, this is the plane ticket." So finally he starts rushing. And he goes to and he lets us follow him. He goes to his head boss. Okay, his boss. So he's the immigration officer. And remember, any immigration officer has things to get approved from their head boss. So he goes to his head boss, which is a woman, and of course he wanted her to see my face, so she sees that like I'm a real person, and this has to get faster, like it needs to get done. So I respect her. I'm like, "Oh, shikamo," and she sees my shirt. At that time I have Africa is Home. She loved my shirt, which is part of my merchandise. She loved my shirt, and she was really nice and stuff like that. And then she was like, okay, so she knew who I was. They told us to go sit back in the waiting room. So guys, another 2 hours passed, and I'm like, oh my God, at this time it's like 3 o'clock, 2:45, 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh my God, we have 1 hour to get to the COVID test. I'm just like, at this point, I'm not optimistic. I'm like what the, and mind you, we're just doing the extension. So I completely am just, again, freaking out, y'all. I'm just freaking out. And then what wind up happening is I said, Hope, you know what? I'm going to go back over there, and I'm just going to tell her, like, I'm just, again, politely, like, I really have to go. So I go back over there, and I say to the woman, I'm so sorry again, I'm not trying to rush you at all, but like I really have to go. I'm leaving in a couple days, da 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 da. So she takes my application from the bottom of the damn list, and she puts it on the top, and I'm standing right there, and she starts reviewing everything. She looks at my flight, and she goes, "You're not coming back to Tanzania?" I said, "No, I'm coming back." I said, "I've been trying to get a permanent residency. However, I've just not had any luck. I'm married to a Tanzanian, and I'm pregnant." And she was like, "Wait, you're married to a Tanzanian and you're pregnant and you've had problems getting the permanent residency?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Give me your control number, give me everything, and let's get this permanent residency for you." So I was like, yes, finally, it's going to happen. I'm like, yes. So I go outside, and I'm like, Hope, baby, he said, like the woman said to give her the control number and give her everything, and she's going to, do the permanent residency for me or whatever. So Hope is like, okay. So he calls the guy, y'all, the guy that's supposed to be doing everything for us. He calls the guy, and the guy basically gets pissed off. He gets pissed off at us. "Are you trying to get me in trouble? Why did you go to the lady?" And we're like, what the we're like, gave you months to get this together. I'm leaving in 48 hours and you haven't done anything. So now, let's get into it. Hope is like, bro, just give us the control number. Just give us the control number so that way. Give us the control number so that way we can just get what we need to get. This is not personal. He was like, oh, there's no control number. We were like, what do you mean there's no control number? You need a control number in order for them to be application. He's like, oh no, we're trying to do it other ways. Y'all, we straight up got scammed. Like, he's like, we're trying to do it other ways. We didn't get a control number. We haven't paid. We're trying to do it other ways and all of this stuff. And we were like, what the? We were pissed. We were so pissed. At that point, we knew it was over. We were like, it's over. Like, it's over. Like, it's complete over. It's just over. There's just no way. It's over. Like, we know that this person basically hasn't done anything, and he's trying to maybe give us, like, a fake stamp or whatever. It just don't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense. So, y'all, again, guess who was stressing? Your girl. I was stressing. So, I couldn't even go back to the lady because how do I go to her and say, oh, we tried to use an outside source and we got, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to put a red flag on my shit. Like, I was like, I'm not even, no. So, we had to regroup, okay? We had to regroup. I did get the extension and I was fine. So, we had to regroup. When we got back to the house, Hope and I were like, what are we going to do? Now we know, basically, we are at ground zero because nothing has been done. I leave in 48 hours. Also, be aware that what I was told is that you can't just keep coming back to Tanzania back and forth, and getting a tourism visa. That's what I was told. I don't know how accurate that is, but basically my fear was I'm going to be denied to come back into Tanzania. I'm going to be separated from my husband. Like, I'm not going to be able to come back to Tanzania. So, which completely, like, hurt me, and I was devastated. So, I was like, okay, we have to regroup. We have to figure out what's going on. Okay? So, the next day, we go back to immigration. The next day, we go back to immigration. And we're like, okay, we have to start from the beginning. Basically, what we found out is that my husband can file for permanent residency even if I'm not in the country. So that was like a lifesaver for us, okay? Because we knew that, okay, even if I'm in New York, he can still do it even without me being there. That's really what saved us. So I was like, okay, this made me feel good. Now, mind you guys, we had all the paperwork. Remember, the guy has all the paperwork. Why didn't we make a copy of everything? Again, we were just rookies. Guys, please learn from the mistakes that we've made. Make copies of everything. We only had one copy, and the freaking scamming guy was the one who had that copy. Guys, learn from our mistakes, please. So we contact him like, bro, you want to keep the money? Whatever. Give us the paperwork so my wife can get her permanent residency. He does not want to give us the paperwork. He don't want to do anything. He just is the same thing that he did with the visa. Oh, yeah, I'm going to send it to you guys. I'm going to send it to you guys. No problem. I'm going to send it to you guys. We didn't get nothing. So Hope and I, again, had to regroup. Okay, this is the day before I left. And we said, we're going to have to just start that. We're just going to have to start it all over again. That's it. We're just going to start it all over again. So we went to start printing out the application. Now, guys, a lot of the information is online on the Tanzanian website. All of the stuff that you need to print, all of the forms that you need, all of them are like PDF online. So we did that. We printed everything. But remember, guys, we had to still go to the chairman. We had to still get a landlord letter, all of that stuff that was not as easy to get. But whatever, my husband still had more time because of the fact that I wasn't actually there. Hold on. So anyways, so Anyway, so what wind up happening is sorry. Okay, so anyways, what wind up happening is my husband, he what you call it, he wind up doing the application. He wind up doing everything all over again. He wound up doing everything all over again when I left. Okay. After I left, he did everything. And he did everything, you know, like the same way you would do at a DMV. Sat down, waited, did everything. Still was able to go back to that same person and stuff, which worked out. The person who was in immigration, and everything worked out. We got the control number. We waited for the control number. After we got the control number, we the next week, which was this past week, we officially got the residency. We officially got the residency, and officially we have the paperwork, we have the stamp, we have everything, which thank God, for real, thank God. But I just want to say something else. We wanted to find out how accurate the information was we wanted to find out how accurate the information was in terms of if I couldn't come back into the country because of the tourism visa, to keep getting the tourism visa. So what wind up happening is as I'm leaving the country, as I was leaving the country, there was, obviously I have to go through immigration to leave the country. So there was a immigration officer who was there, plus the like supervisor. So I was like, oh, the supervisor is here. Like this is great. This is like meant for me. So I spoke to the supervisor and I just explained to him. I was like, hi, I was just wondering, you know, like I want to come back to Tanzania. However, I don't have my permanent residency right now. I was just wondering, like, am I going to be able to come back into the country? So he takes a look at my passport, and he says to me, he looks at the passport and stuff like that, and he's like, oh, why would you be coming, why are you coming back? Like, basically, every immigration officer is going to always ask you, even when you come inside the U.S., they say, oh, why are you coming inside the U.S.? It's just a standard question. And I said to him, well, you know, I said, my husband is Tanzanian, and I'm basically coming back for that. I also explained that I was pregnant. And he was just like, he was like, I wish you could, because he had on a mask. He's like, I wish you could see the smile under my face, so you could see, you know, how, like how happy I am. And he was just like, you're married to a Tanzanian man. Like, we would never deny our Shem. Shem is like in-law. To come back into the country. You have nothing to worry about. He was like, even if your residency doesn't come in, when you come back, just explain your situation. We would never, ever, ever, ever deny you to come back inside the country. And he was just really nice. He was just really helpful. He was just super nice. Like, you know, he's just like, you know, it was a lot of love. Like, you know, like, it's so beautiful to see, you know, like people like coming together and stuff like that. And he just made it very clear, like, no, like, you're Shem, like you're not gonna have any problems. Yeah, mama. So then now I'm at the immigration officer. So remember, that was the supervisor. So now I'm at the immigration officer, and when I go to the immigration officer, he looks at my passport and he tells me, like, you know, my visa is expired. And I told him, oh, I got an extension. He looks at the extension, and he approves me to go. He's like, oh, okay, great. I see your extension. He asked me some typical immigration questions, like, oh, why were you here in Tanzania? And I said, oh, I was in Tanzania for my husband and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, your husband's Tanzanian? And I said, yeah. So he asked me, like, what's my husband's name? I told him my husband's name. I told him my husband's like, you know, Tanzania name and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, is he Chaga tribe? And I was like, yeah. He was like, he's a Chaga tribe. That's great. He's like, you know, and I also explained to him that, you know, I'm waiting for residency when I come back. And he's like, oh, Shem, don't worry. Like, don't worry, we would never deny you. Like, he basically said the same thing as the supervisor. So I felt pretty confident, like, even if, but thank God the residency came in, but I was like, I felt pretty confident, like, okay, we're gonna get into the country no matter what, because it seems like, you know, these immigration officers, like, it pulls weight. It definitely, like, when you have a Tanzanian husband or you're married to a Tanzanian person, it definitely pulls weight. Or if you know somebody in Tanzania, it definitely pulls weight. So that was pretty, you know, and some of you guys will definitely say, like, I'm privileged in that way, and I would definitely agree with that. I'm definitely privileged in knowing somebody who's Tanzanian. My husband's Tanzanian, so I definitely think that there are definitely that perks that come with it, which is nice. Like, it's just nice. It's definitely nice. So, yeah. So it's definitely nice. But yeah, especially as soon as people hear you're married to a Tanzanian, you just get a level of respect that is just like, it's nice. It's definitely nice. So I already knew coming back to Tanzania, I wouldn't have a problem, even though, like, I didn't have a visa and I didn't have all of these things, all the things that I was just worried about. It's like, even the female officer, remember, that was in immigration, like, she just, like, as soon as she heard I was married to a Tanzanian, like, she was just like, oh, okay, like, not a problem, like, let's get your residency, let's get everything under control, like, let's get what you need. So, which is super helpful. But finally, as of, what, Friday? What's today? I don't even know what today is. As of Friday, I got my residency. I got my residency. So, I see somebody said, like, bribing and stuff like that. Not all of bribing. First of all, you don't want to do bribing. Why? Because it sets up a system that is okay to bribe, and not everybody can just put out bribe. When you say $50, like, that's pretty much the cost of the visa. Like, why do I have to pay an extra $50 when this is the cost of the visa? So I don't necessarily agree with bribing at all. I don't. I think there's certain situations where, you know, if you want things done like the way we did, like, you know, fast and stuff like that, and you don't want to go through the price and stuff like that, then, you know, maybe that's okay. But, you know, I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody's completely different. But for me, I just think it sets up a system that now everybody has to go through, because it has this idea like, oh, American people, they'll do bribing, and it sets up for everybody else. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to feed into that. I don't. For my fellow Americans who come after me. Like, I'm not trying to be a part of that system, and not everybody who comes out after me, they just have this mindset that it's okay. Like, I'm not feeding into that. But that's just me. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Did you have to show proof of your marriage certificate when returning? No, I did not have to show proof that I was married to a Tanzanian. I just said that I was married to a Tanzanian. If they had asked me for proof, I have my marriage certificate, so it wouldn't have been a problem. But no, they didn't ask me. They didn't ask me to show proof. They could have, though, but they personally didn't ask me. Hi, back to New York until the new baby comes? No, I'm not in New York until the baby comes. The baby doesn't come until December, and I would be damned. I would be absolutely damned if I gave birth in America. Hell no, I would not do that. If you don't pay bribe, you'll suffer in Africa. That's not true. That's completely not true at all. I've been to multiple African countries, and I have not fed into bribery, and I've been perfectly fine. And even here in Tanzania, like, you can go perfectly fine without bribing the immigration officers. You just will have to wait like normal people. You know what I'm saying? It's like the DMV. It's like a DMV in America. Like, you can wait all day and go through the regular process of getting your driver's license, or you can bribe and get it within 20 minutes. It's the same thing. You don't have to do it. Like, you do not have to do that. You can just sit there all day and wait. If you want to, sure, but you don't have to do that. Like, it's not like that at all. And you will be perfectly fine. You just, again, you gotta sit all day and wait for your driver's license. Did you tell that immigration officer about the visa situation for diaspora? What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. I don't know if I missed it, but roughly how much was your residency? So again, the residency is different for women who are married to a Tanzanian man, but it was $50 US and 100,000 shilling. And again, it's all on the government website. If you go to like the Tanzanian government website, there's a section that says visas, and it has like the pricing and everything for each visa. Has the pricing for business visa, has the pricing for dependent passes, it has the prices for children, it has the price for everything. It's up there on the official government website. What you call it? Are you talking about when somebody said about the immigration officer about the visa situation for diasporas? Are you talking about the fact that diasporas have to leave and come every 60 days? Is that what you're talking about? You have to elaborate on that question, because I'm not really sure. It's not a must to bribe at all. No, it's not a must at all. Excuse me. I want to do a consultation with you. Come on, email me and we can set that up. I'm planning to come to Tanzania in December to get a tourist visa. Can I get a one-way ticket and can cross border? Yes, you can. Yes, you definitely can. $20 bribe could save you 20 days in time. I agree with that, but that's not also necessarily true. For the past 47 minutes, I've talked about, going through an outside source, and that led me absolutely nowhere. So that's not all the way true as well. Sometimes it can definitely be true, but not necessarily. You can definitely be scammed. It's a risky way. You better sit your butt at that DMV all day, because you might actually wind up losing money. We lost money. Apart from vlogging and reputation, do you have any other revenue streams in Tanzania? I don't know. I think my husband does more than I do. Any word on possible changes for the visa diasporas trying to return on the continent? Not that I know of. I do know that with the new president, they are discussing it. However, nothing's been in place. Nothing's been in place yet. But I do know when I was talking to, I know a lawyer, the lawyer that I did that video with, he did say that they are discussing it, but we don't have any confirmation yet. Hopefully changes get made. Hopefully they'll allow some type of dual citizenship, at least for diasporas. Hopefully, I really do hope that they make some changes, but as of right now, things are pretty much still the same, but I know that they are discussing it. How long would they discuss it for? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Any other final questions before I get out of here, guys? Because I am tired, like for real. I am exhausted. I can't even tell you guys the things that I've been doing. Like, it's insane. Every day. Cleaning out my storage, legally changing my last name. That's another thing, guys. Like, I officially have legally changed my last name. I officially have my husband's last name, and I'm really excited about that. My consultation email, well, it's the same email, but it's julesontheRun@gmail.com. So just my name, julesontheRun@gmail.com. You can send me an email there for a consultation, and we can book that consultation. And I'm definitely thinking about increasing my consultation prices. So you better get at me now before I actually make that change. I've just been too tired to even think about, my prices and stuff like that. But it is something in the near future that I am going to change. I just haven't got around to it. Like, I've just been so exhausted with just coming back out here and, family and all of that stuff. Why hasn't the diaspora community not approached the embassy? See, this is the thing. A lot of you guys make a lot of assumptions. A lot of you guys make a lot of assumptions. I don't know why you guys think that diasporas are not doing that. There's a whole diaspora community out here in Tanzania, and diasporas have definitely reached out to immigration and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know what you guys think that we're out here doing. It has happened. I know for a fact. Especially, there's a huge repad of like Rastafarian diasporas in Tanzania, and they have fought hard. So it's in the works. People are out here fighting. Just because you don't see it publicized on YouTube, and not everybody in Tanzania is a YouTuber. There's so many diasporas in Tanzania that are not online, that have been here for decades and live a very nice life and very comfortable life. There's only a few of us that are actually live in Tanzania and we do YouTube. But there's so many, like there's so many, and people do fight for those rights as diasporas. It's just they have to be willing to listen, and they have to be willing to make those changes. But however, I know that they're talking about it, so we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. I remember, like Tanzania is not the only East African country. There's so many other East African beautiful countries that you guys should also look into if Tanzania like laws, don't work. And also a lot of other Africa. You got East Africa, you got North Africa, South Africa. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy to get discouraged. During this process, it's very easy to get discouraged. And you know how easy it is to just sit there and get upset at the guy who, pulled that BS and say, you know what, I'm not going to stay in Tanzania, I'm just going to move. However, I know there's stupid people, and he was just one of those stupid people that we ran into. And we learned from our experience. It's not going to happen again. And we still went out and fought for our residency. And now look, I have my residency. I'm just not one of those people who gets discouraged fast. I'm definitely not. Like, I fight, okay? Like, I fight for what I want. And if one way doesn't work for me, I find another way. If that way doesn't work for me, then I find another way. If there's a will, there's a way. Like, that's just me, though. Everybody's different. And I respect the fact that everybody is different. Definitely, I do. But I'm happy that it's done. I really am. And the reason why I came on here to tell you guys is so maybe you can, avoid making the same mistakes we did. How to avoid nasal swab at arrival to Tanzania airport. You can't. You can't avoid it. Sorry. You can't avoid it. You cannot avoid it. That's a new thing, though. The last time that I went to Tanzania, that wasn't a thing. I don't know, they started this nasal thing now, a rapid test on Tanzania arrival. I don't know why, but it must be the new president. I don't know. I heard it's $25. So even if you have a COVID negative test, they're still requiring for you to get a rapid test on arrival. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm definitely not looking forward to that. But what can you do? Every country requires something different. As long as countries don't start requiring for you to have the vaccine, then, yeah. And I think the reason why, and I think a lot of places are going to start requiring these rapid tests. And the reason why, I think, is because people, like, it's been known to, like, people do the fake test. So I think that's what they're afraid of, is, like, people are presenting fake tests and getting through. and now they want to make sure that you are actually COVID negative. That's what I would assume. I don't know if that's the truth or not. Excuse me. I don't know if that's the reasoning or not. But if I were to make an educated guess, I think that's the reason why. Because why else would they put that in place? I'm providing you a negative COVID test, so why do I have to get a rapid test on arrival if I'm providing you a negative COVID test? The only reason why they would request that is because they don't believe that my COVID test is really negative. It has to be because, and that's the problem. You guys have to remember, that is the issue. People spoil it for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same with the student visas in Tanzania. Like, because everybody was claiming to be a student, everybody was taking advantage of it. Now getting a student visa is so much more harder, and that's the problem. It's like things get skewed and become much more harder because people be messing it up. You know, people be messing it up for other people. So I think really that's what was happening. I think people were providing a fake COVID test, so now they're requiring it. If you have proof of vaccination, does it make a difference? I have no idea. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. That's not something that I've ever asked, but I don't think so. Because they said even if you have the vaccine, you can still catch COVID. You know? Yeah. But alright, guys, I am exhausted. It was so good to talk to you guys. Hopefully, I will get a video out for you guys soon. I just need to get the strength to edit. And I'm just exhausted. Like, I'm physically exhausted. So, I will talk to you guys later. I love you guys. I will please become a member, like this video, and I will see you later. Hopefully this information was useful if you're trying to come out here and you're trying to get residency, so that way you can kind of avoid some mistakes that I've made. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.